Hello everyone, welcome back. I wanted to show you guys a really cool sighting system that I got in. I think it's quite innovative. This is called a Meprolight. Show you guys the package. Yeah, you can see up there, Meprolight. I normally don't do unboxing videos, but I thought that you guys should get a chance to look at this before I installed it. Okay, and what it does is this is a rear sight. Okay, the way the system works is front sight comes completely off, and this is gonna, the rear sight's gonna come off, and this is gonna slide in and replace the rear sight on your Glock. Okay, obviously I'm waiting on the cover plate. I gotta put a cover plate here so it's not hanging in the air. So you only use this as a rear sight. There's no front sight to this. Let me get behind the camera and I'll show you guys what you see when you look through this. Okay, there you go. Once you get proper sight alignment, you can see how you see a circle with a dot in the center. Okay, and if you're off, right, you can see how you can see a reflection. Okay, that kind of gives you an idea of what direction you need to move into. Okay, and that's to get your sight alignment. Okay, so the way this works is that it has a fiber optic wire in there to collect the light and reflect it back. Okay, it also has tritium in there so that if it's completely dark, you'll still be able to see. You'll still be able to see that bullseye. So yeah, if you have fiber optic only, you're not going to see anything. Like right now, the sights on this P80, that's fiber optic only. So at night, right, although it looks pretty bright right now, that at night that's dead. You cannot see the front sight on this gun. Okay, so this is I think it's quite innovative. The reason why I'm trying this out is about a month or two ago, I was called to a gun range to train somebody, first-time shooter, and I've never seen this system before. They had just bought a SIG 365 that comes with that Meprolight pre-installed on it. So I picked up the gun to do a chamber check, make sure there was nothing in there, and I saw there was no front sight on the gun. Okay, I'm like, what the hell? They shipped you a gun without sights on it. And then I kind of saw this on the back. It only took me a couple of seconds to figure out how this thing works, and I thought it was pretty cool. Now, why would you want to use this? Why is this better than iron sights, or why would it be better? Why wouldn't you use a red dot instead? Well, here's the thing. With the red dot, okay, for one thing, I find that with new shooters, it's really hard for them to learn, right? It's really hard for them to learn to line up their sights and get it on target when they're learning. And also that I find that when I stress them, it's also difficult for them to line up their sights. Because when you got three sights, there's three things you're looking at: rear sight, front sight, target at a distance. And the key to all that is you got to focus on your front sight. Okay, so that's kind of hard for a new shooter to do. So I've been using the red dot systems. Okay, so with the red dot system, the nice thing about this is when you hold this out there, right? Okay, you're just looking at your target in the distance, and your dot is on the target. So essentially, it's holographic, right? Even though it's not really holographic, it appears holographic. It appears out there. You're focusing at your target at a distance, which is kind of like the natural thing to do, right? There's a threat in front of you. You're going to be focusing at the threat. You're not going to be, it takes a lot of discipline to be looking at your front sight if you got somebody threatening you at a distance. So that's one of the problems with iron sight systems. That's the reason why red dots work so well. Now, on a rifle, with a rifle, you got 4 points of contact. You got your two hands, your chest, and your face on the gun. So when you anchor the gun to your face, by the stock being on your face, your eyeballs usually in the right position so that you can pick up your red dot really quickly. With the pistols, okay, in order to find your red dot really fast, you gotta come out, you gotta have perfect presentation in order to find it immediately every time. But life is not, doesn't always give you the chance to use perfect presentation. So if you're doing this one-handed, right, and you're coming out like that and going there, right, switching hands, going there, it can be a little bit more difficult to find that red dot. Usually you got to play around with the gun a little bit, move it around a little bit so you can pick up that red dot, or you got to go to your iron sights. That's why with red dots, red dots on pistols, I always want to have iron sights on the guns. So if I can't find that red dot, I go back to my iron sights and I use that as a point of reference. So that's, so here's the thing. With the red dots, I find that that if you're shooting unconventional positions or if you're shooting under stress, it can be a lot slower. With the iron sights, if I'm, I can find that I can pick them up a lot faster, okay? But new shooters have a much harder time picking them up. And here's the thing that I have found. I have found that new shooters are a good way to test how experienced shooters will react under serious stress. Okay, so here's the thing. Think about this. If you're, everybody knows how to use a key, right, to open up a lock, right? We do it every day. It's pretty easy. Think about when you're under stress, right? How difficult it can be to find the right key, get it in the keyhole, turn it. So something that you do every day when you're under stress, when you're nervous, when you're scared, can be very difficult. So that's what I have found with iron sights. A lot of times when I stress people, when I put them in very difficult situations to test them, I will find that they have a much harder time picking up their iron sights. Okay, with the iron sights, we're looking at three things: rear sight, front sight, target. The nice thing about this is instead of looking at three things, we're only looking at two things. Okay, we're basically just looking at the bullseye, right? Just gotta line that up and get that on the target. Now I have to test it out as far as if I need to put it on it or underneath it. I'll let you guys know after I install this how I gotta, how you need to actually aim this. But when I tested it on the SIG 365 SAS, I found that I was able to get on target pretty quickly one-handed. So I was almost as quick with that Meprolight as I am with iron sights, when I'm using it one-handed in awkward positions. So that's why I think that this has a good deal of potential. Okay, so this is something I'm gonna install on this P80 here. Like I said, I'm waiting for that cover plate to come in. I was able to get one for about $16. I'm gonna install this Meprolight, which cost $129 on Amazon for the green one. Okay. The nice thing about ordering this on Amazon is if I end up not liking it, I can just send it right back. Okay, and so it's easy return. So that's something that makes me feel really good about testing new products out. But I think that this has some good potential. It's got so like I said, it slides into your rear sight, right? That should look familiar to everyone who's ever installed a rear sight. And it's got two Allen screws over here to kind of secure it in place. And it also has two Allen screws up here in the front, okay, in case you ever need to change the fiber optic out. And another benefit of this is it's pretty flat, all right? So, once I remove the sights on this, this is going to sit like really close to the top of the slide. Okay, so the way that SIG markets this, right, on their 365 SAS, they market this as a no snag system, right, because you don't have the sights sticking up to snag on things. So they market this as a no snag system. So I definitely see the benefit to that. My main interest is that I wanted something that is as easy to use as a red dot, but I can still but has the quick target the quick acquisition of iron sights. Okay, so I want something that's easy to use as a red dot, but has the quick acquisition potential as iron sights. So that's what I'm looking for. And my initial tests with this were pretty positive. So I'm going to test this out some more, and then in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to make a report to you guys. Other thing is that this is obviously very light because it's small. Okay, much lighter than than this Holosun 507C. Right, this is a pretty light one, right? It's pretty small as far as red dots go, or pistol red dots, but that's going to be even a lot lighter. So this is something that, that's the reason why this was, you can install this like on a on a Shield 9 or on a a Sig 365 because it's so small and low profile. So this has some real potential, and I'm gonna have new shooters test this out, and I'm gonna observe them. I use new shooters as the testing ground because pretty much anything I pick up, I'm gonna be able to shoot pretty good, right? Because I shoot all the time. I mean, in fact, I've shot Glock-like guns with no sights on them, right? No sights. Remove the rear sights. Within a couple of shots, I can figure out where I gotta position my top slide, so I can hit my targets, and I can hit them, let's say 1 out of 4 times with no sights on the gun at all, at about 15 feet. So I'm not the best person to decide what's going to be the best thing for new shooters and for other people. I want the new shooters, to give me that information, because whatever they're able to learn quickly and easily is going to be easier for people like me, people like you guys that are more experienced, to be able to shoot under stressful situations. Okay, so the new shooters give us a clue as to what is best for stressful situations. So looking forward to doing that video. It should be out I should have this tested within the next 2 weeks. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.